What throw shifter is it?
Before they went out of business, it was JTC Customs.
Oh, okay.
It's a fully adjustable short shifter.
Oh, nice. For the Prelude?
For the Prelude, yes.
It's kind of funny how we always have to ask that question.
Yeah. It's actually fully adjustable not only on height, but on how short you want it.
Right.
And then I have the shade spec bushings.
And that changes, man. Bushings
it
huge.
It feels great. It feels nice and tight, you know. I get into gear perfectly every time, you know. It feels new, you know. And I like it a lot. I like my setup. Especially my shift knob, it just feels right. I went ahead and I found this little coupler that actually holds the shift boot in place, so it just feels natural, you know. I like the balls because you can, you know, no matter how you shift it, you know, it feels comfortable.
Yeah, pretty good.
It just feels natural.
Okay, awesome, man. Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back to Automotive Anatomy. Today we have Nick. Nick, thank you so much for making some time for us, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. So tell us, Nick, what do you drive?
I drive a 1994 Honda Prelude.
Okay.
I've had it for about 8 years now.
8 years? Okay.
8 years. I picked it up 2010.
Wow.
Picked it up down the street from my house, actually.
Okay. How did that happen? Well, were you in the market for a Prelude, or it just...
I needed a car.
You needed a car, okay.
Yeah, I just needed a car.
And so that one just the one that popped up. Obviously, it didn't look this. It was just stock.
Yeah, it was the cheapest car I could find.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I got it. I didn't want the car, but, you know...
So over the 9 years that you've had it, why keep it?
It was different, you know. It was really different. You know, you don't see a lot of these every day. You know, growing up, my friends had Integras, Civics, things like that. You know, the popular car. This was not a popular car. So I figured, yeah, I definitely wanted to be different.
Okay. Now, so you were into modding cars?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I've been with cars all my life. My father, I used to tinker with his Corvettes and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that kind of got my engine started with wanting to do with cars, you know.
Okay.
So I started doing it on my own. You know, it's something I really like to do, a really good hobby.
Okay. And so when you picked this up, obviously it was just a commuter,
Yeah.
point A to point B. Now, you know, when did it start? What was your vision for the car? When did you actually start saying, like, wait, I can actually build this platform?
Funny story, actually. I won free tickets to, it was a car show at the Anaheim Convention Center in 2012, I think it was. And, you know, I figured, you know, no Hondas, just, you know, looking at cars. There was a Honda section, then right dead center, there was Big Mike's car. So that kind of got my attention. I was like, wait, I looked around, I was like, all these other high-end cars, and there's a Prelude. So I started looking at it, I was like, wow, this thing actually looks really good, you know? I didn't know you could build this car.
That was like phase 1 out of 3,000 he's had, right?
Yeah, it's funny because it was actually, I think phase 2 when it was the mint green.
Mint? Okay.
Yeah, that's when I first saw it. And it really got my attention, it really got me thinking. It's like, you know what? I can build this thing. You know, I'm gonna keep it.
All right, Nick, so tell us, what do you have going on in the front?
Pretty simple, actually. Very, very, very simple. I have an AZEK front lip. Actually, I got from Jeremy.
Oh, okay.
One of my favorite pieces are the Hero eyelids, and they were actually originally Big Mike's eyelids.
Oh, okay.
So that's something very special to me. And I also have JDM one-piece headlights, and I've retrofitted them with TSX projectors, OEM TSX projectors.
And so, you know, USDM, do they cut here?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
They're actually a two-piece glass headlight.
Okay. And these ones are glass as well, or plastic?
They're plastic.
Man, we just want the opposite. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. I do like factory accessories. I actually have OEM courtesy lights.
Which ones are those? These ones?
Yeah, the side lights. So when you turn your blinker on, it shines up the side. You know, like the Cadillacs have it.
Right.
Yeah, or the high-end luxury cars.
So you drive a high-end luxury car, that's what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, but better.
But better, yes. It's got my own taste.
Yeah, because I think in the core world, we need to put the intersection lights.
Yeah.
So we add that on, and so it looks, you know, if you do it right, it looks nice. But
With,
that one just
with the Accords, you guys actually cut it right there.
Right, we have to cut it.
Yeah.
And that one,
Yeah.
that's how it comes.
Well, in Japan, that light right there is actually a reflector. In USDM, that's actually a turn signal.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So it kind of utilizes that empty space, you know, instead of having that reflector there, you actually make it a purpose again.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, cool, man. And the ASIC lift.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple.
Very, very simple.
Okay.
I like the simple look. I don't like it overly aggressive.
Okay. And what's the color code?
It is sea green silver metallic.
Okay, and that's the original color?
That is the original color. I had it repainted the original color.
Okay, nice. Sweet, man. Is there any plans in the future for paint, things like that? Anything body kit, wider fenders, wider stuff?
Different color change. Definitely a different color change.
Okay.
I would like to think when I'm more near to the end on building this thing, I'm going to do a color change. I will never be, yes. But when I'm closer to the end, I'm definitely going to do a color change. Haven't decided yet,
okay,
but I have a few colors in mind.
Yeah.
Black chrome, RPF ones.
Okay.
With Falcon tires. They were my favorite wheels back in the day. I actually had these for about 4-ish years. They were my favorite. The color caught my eye. It really stands out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
definitely stands out. I like it a lot.
And what are the specs?
17 by 9.5 plus 18.
Plus 18. And now, did you do the 5-lug conversion on these ones, or are they already 5-lug?
They weren't 5-lug. I actually did a 5-lug conversion.
And so what do you guys use?
We use actually the next generation Prelude, the 97 to 01 Prelude.
Just bolts up?
It bolts right on.
Easy.
It's just you have to change the axles. That's about it. 2 5th-gen axles, but they all work the same.
Okay. And then the tire size you have going on is
205 40 17.
in that square setup?
Yes, square setup.
No, I really like the color. They pop. And I know a lot of people have used these wheels and continue to use, but there's something nice about them.
Yeah.
Know? Okay. Sweet. Any plans in the future for different type of wheels? I know you did mention they were my favorite wheel.
Yes.
So what happened?
I have acquired a set of wheels from a buddy of mine who he let me borrow them, and they're Blitz Type 1 CX.
Okay.
I like those wheels a lot. They're probably my most favorite era-specific wheel in the 90s, other than Mugen M7s.
Okay.
So those will probably be my next wheels. I actually have, I guess if you want to call it, a build your own coilover setup. I have Coney yellow struts, ground control coilover sleeves. I bought ground controls. I actually added an H&R helper spring to keep the functionality of it being low. I have custom OEM extended top hats. They're extended to 1 inch.
Nice.
So I have full shock travel. And to top it off, MPC drop forks.
Really?
Yes.
And you were mentioning that's one of the newest pieces you acquired, right?
Yes.
And yeah, it's super custom.
Yes. It's basically a build your own setup. You know, you can change every piece of it to your liking.
But the ground control and the corner yellows just works perfectly for many cars.
Absolutely. That combination it works great on a lot of cars. I love the comfort, you know, how it rides, things like that. Feels great.
Custom spring rate.
Yes.
And they're pretty good about the customer service. At least I experienced that.
Yeah, they're Ryan over there is pretty good. Other people are good over there.
And I love the custom top hat.
Yes.
I love that because that makes a huge difference.
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
Theoretically speaking, if I were to pull my suspension out and you look at it, it looks as if it was factory, you know. It's got all the shock travel you need. It's not compressed all the way down, you know. It's got full travel, you know. Other than it being lower, you know, you're just changing the geometry of everything else. You're keeping that the same.
That's awesome, man. Tell us about the rear end. What do you have going on?
I actually I would like to match the AZEK front lip. I have actual AZEK rear valences.
Okay.
It really complements if you actually have a side view with the OEM side skirts. It blends very well together. AZEK probably has the best simple but aggressive look as far as a kit.
And then tell us about the wing.
That's actually a full-on custom wing. There's a group in Thailand. It's called Prelude Garage.
Okay.
They break down cars and sell parts.
No
and
way. That's cool.
Make certain parts. They do it crazy out there in Thailand, you know, with all their body kits and stuff like that. But that was actually a limited run. They did a custom wing, or a custom flush mount wing. There's about, I think, 20 of them out there, 20 or 30 of them out there.
It looks really nice.
I like it a lot. That's probably one of my favorite pieces in the rear end, other than my exhaust, of course.
So speaking of exhaust, what kind of exhaust system do you have?
RSR.
Okay.
RSR X Mag.
Nice.
I've been looking for one for about 5 years. I just acquired it last year. It's probably my most favorite exhaust out there.
So tell us a little bit about the interior, man. What do you have going on?
Well, other than the obvious, the right-hand drive swap, I actually have a Recaro confetti seat. That's another one of my favorite pieces on the interior, other than my shift knob. I really like the design. To me, it feels really 90, like it screams 90s.
Right.
And I thought it would be perfect for my build. I also have a Nardi Deep Corn 350 millimeter steering wheel. I like my steering wheels a little closer to me, and I like it a lot. And I like to accompany it with a Workspell short hub and quick release setup. I did have an NRG before. I've never had problems with them. It seemed to be a good product, but of course, rarity is key.
Right.
My most favorite piece, other than my seat, has to be my Tommy Chiara shift knob. Tommy Chiara, growing up, I don't know if you guys played Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
But Tommy Chiara, for some reason, stuck with me, and I like their builds. I like their tuning, what they do, and stuff like that.
Tell us about the right-hand drive conversion. Did you do it yourself?
I did, actually.
Okay. Very first time ever doing it?
Yes, and probably the last.
Wow, was it that difficult?
It was difficult because I chose a difficult chassis. There's no write-ups, there's no forums, there's no how-tos for a Prelude, versus you get a Civic or an Integra,
Well, that's why you did it, so you would create that.
Absolutely.
You didn't, huh?
I didn't. I'm not very active on the forums like I used to. Yeah. But if people ask questions, I'll definitely give my 2 cents. Yeah, I did everything in my garage, had to source all my parts. I actually got the clip from HMO Motorsports, or HMO Online, I think it is, in Burbank. Steve there, great people, great service. Unfortunately, when I got the clip, it was sitting in their overstock for about 10 years. When Preludes were popular, people were actually buying them.
Right.
So when I got it, it was pretty picked at. It just had the bare essentials. It had the dash, it had the pedals, the subframe needed, and that was basically it. It didn't have really anything. So I had about 40% of the parts to do it. I had to search for the remaining 60%.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, that's a problem.
That was a big problem. So it took me 7 months to finally find everything, figure out how to wire it, figure out how to do everything. And I was doing a couple other small things in between while I was there. I actually have a fully functioning JDM climate control.
Nice. Okay. With
functioning air conditioning. Everything works.
Wow.
I believe in the quote, do it right or do it twice.
Right.
If you don't have the right parts right now, just wait, get your parts needed, and then do it right the first time.
Right.
I don't like to cut corners. I know everyone, has a budget, I get it. But, if
you didn't sacrifice certain stuff.
If you can wait, definitely.
Yeah. If you have another car you can drive and this
Absolutely.
For a little bit.
Absolutely.
And it is blue tag, you said, right?
Yes, it is blue tag.
So that's awesome, that way you have no issues with anybody.
Right. And I also came across these Honda Access floor mats. They're pretty thick, different colored.
Super clean, man.
I really like the badge that it comes with. It really stands out. Like if, for say, you're walking next to the car, you'll actually really see it, really be able to see it.
No, it's super clean, man. I love the interior. This is simple. Just a little harness bar.
That's actually a Sparco harness bar from 5th generation Prelude.
Nice. Okay, so it's Sparco. Nice.
And I had it fully polished. I like the Sparco bar. I like the Sparco bar the best because it actually has a crossbar on the bottom. It's basically like a center support.
Oh wow. Okay.
A lot of people don't really see that because obviously it's at the bottom.
Right.
But like if you actually walk around, you can kind of see it. Like if you look in the back, you can actually see it.
And that's when you kind of realize, wait, it's not just energy or whatever simple eBay.
Right. It's got a little bit more into it, and I like that. I like the complexity on that.
All right. So tell us, what kind of gauges and what kind of shift boot do you have?
A Recaro shift boot to match my seats. As far as my gauges, they're all AEM.
Okay.
This one right here is my oil pressure. This one's my air fuel ratio. And on the other side, I have a custom tweeter pod made by Ortiz Custom, I think it is. That's to monitor my water temp.
Okay. Nice. And then like you said, your whole entire dash works, everything, lighting?
Everything except for my temperature.
Oh, okay.
Going right-hand drive, certain things don't work. I still haven't figured out yet.
Okay. So did you just go with like if you see smoke or no smoke?
Well, I kind of have an idea of where the temperature should be, so I kind of watch my gauge just to be sure. If it goes up, I would like to say 10 over where I think it should be, then I start to worry.
Okay. Sure, let's go with that, whatever that means.
I do want to fix it eventually,
yeah.
But I really have to figure it out.
So tell us, man, what do you have going on here?
A lot of polish. I still haven't finished it yet. I got a lot of inspiration from Jeremy with his engine bay. Very shiny. It catches your eye with all the details, and I kind of want to start doing that.
Good.
I actually have a polished valve cover. My headers were polished. I don't know what happened. AEM True Power pulleys I've had polished. Forbidden Motorsports cooling plate, which actually used to be Jeremy's.
Oh, okay.
Custom made radiator brackets, Mishimoto radiator, accompanied by Mishimoto radiator hoses.
Nice.
Another Spoon Sport strut bar. I've had the bar polished and the ends chromed.
For what car is that? For actual? No.
It's actually for the Prelude.
Is it?
Yes.
Nice. Okay, cool.
And of course my top hats.
Nice. They look good.
Yeah.
Look pretty good.
Under the hood, a lot of people can't really see it, but one of my favorite pieces is this Feels brake master cylinder stopper. It's actually really only for right-hand drives. It's supposed to help with brake feel and to keep it stiff, if you want to say, and not lose brake pedal feel.
Really?
Yeah, because usually what happens with any car actually, if you actually watch your firewall when you hit the brake, the firewall is actually a really thin piece of metal. So when you hit your brakes, you're actually flexing the firewall just a little bit. Maybe not enough for like a normal person to tell if your brakes are,
right, doing any changes.
Yeah, but actually the brake pedal drops a little further because of the flex. You're actually moving a little further. With that, it's like a mini strut bar for the master cylinder. So basically, it's holding it back, and it bolts to the frame. So when you're actually hitting the brake pedal, you're not feeling that give,
That's awesome.
So it keeps it nice and stiff. I actually can notice it. Not a lot, maybe 15-20% brake pedal feel difference. But I noticed, and I actually like that a lot.
That's cool, man. Thank you for sharing that. That's good. Yeah, and it's just like an extension to the cylinder.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about the engine? Is it completely stock?
No. Actually, I spent a lot of time on this motor. I've been working on it for 3 years. The bottom end is completely stock, but I do have mild headwork. I actually came across Crower Stage 1 cams that are now discontinued for this engine. I actually was able to buy them brand new from them.
Wow.
I got really lucky on those. And that was 4 years ago now. But it has Crower Stage 1 cams, port and polished head, port matched OEM intake manifold, and I actually threw on an H23 throttle body because it's slightly bigger. And I have H22 injectors and a street tune.
The street tune.
And of course, your basics, your intake, your full exhaust, and I actually have a light and flywheel as well.
So tell us, man, what are the future plans and any shout outs?
Future plans, just never give up, keep going, keep pushing,
Nice.
Never let something stop me from doing what I want to do. As far as with my car, I enjoy the chassis a lot. I enjoy the build, I enjoy the, cars in general, but the rarity, how uncommon you see these cars, that's what makes it very special to me. Even just day-to-day driving, I hardly ever see just a Prelude in general. It's a big Mike for one, definitely. He's inspired me a lot. With his car, his build, his ideas. He's a great person. Easy to talk to. I like where he's going with this car.
Awesome.
And I'm thankful to see most of all of his versions. And I also like to give a shout out to Jeremy. He's seen me when I first got this car. It wasn't the greatest, if you want to say I was a small fish, but he's helped me a lot. He's guided me in the right direction. He's never, turned me down, if you want to say, and he's always been there, and he's helped me find parts.
Cool. And then
And a big shout out to my girlfriend. You know, she's stuck by my side. She pushed me to, you know, do things that I didn't think I could do, and I really respect that.
Cool.
You know,
you're helping her build her own car as well?
Yeah, me helping her build her car.
That's awesome.
Teaching her how to build her own car.
Nice, even
You
better.
know, not me doing it, she's gonna be doing it, but I'm gonna be there to help her along the way.
That's awesome, man. Well, Nick, thank you so much for your time, man.
You're very welcome. Thank you again.
Awesome car, and I can't wait for the future plans because you got some good stuff coming up, man. Especially, you know, little things that many people don't see or don't pay attention to, like,
Right.
you know, the brakes,
Right.
the calipers, you know, those fun things
Yeah.
that a car enthusiast actually takes, you know, a look at, not just what kind of mirrors you have, you know?
Right.
So thanks for your time, I appreciate it.
Thank you.